All right. I see Josue's in, so we're going to get started this morning since he's here. Hey, Alan Schultz. Happy Friday, everybody. Big waves to you. I'm gonna try to pick the energy level up. I'm going to pick the energy level up because I spent years in education. I know it's scary to think about, but I did. And Arlene, you keep your comments to yourself over there. But let me tell you, May was always an interesting time. You could feel it. Like people were something about the end of May, it was like everybody was ready to get out, ready to go do something. I mean, it's pretty weather. And so that's where we're at. We're at the end of May right now. And I know Ashley Paulson has got two graduates that they decided to go ahead and get both of their wisdom teeth cut out. I'm like, they're doing everything in doubles. I don't know. I guess you just knock it out. So Ashley, we're praying for you. And it's been a good week this week. This word this morning was really good. And I hope you've had a good week. The word is knowledge. And I can't remember who wanted us to look at this word, but anyway, this word's for you. Okay. Thank you for asking us to look at it. But facts, information, skills, acquired by a person, acquired by me and you. I think we could all pretty much lay out the definition of knowledge. And we've all heard this quote: knowledge becomes power only when we put it into use, right? Like, I think we all would agree knowledge is knowledge unless you're actually taking it out of the box and applying it, right? So I went two directions this morning. One is knowledge in business. Okay. And I've got a lot to learn, and I learn every day. But one of the things that I have learned from my mentor that I'm so grateful for, and it's helped me so much in business. It's helped me in real, business, whether it's network marketing. It's helped me in real estate. Just this week, I had the opportunity in real estate to start somebody down a path that I had an opportunity to get started down in rental properties. And I was sitting around with the family and their little boy that's like 6 years old. And I just had so much fun being able to step them through that path and help them purchase their first two homes. And I really went back to my mentor that taught me several years ago to learn with the intent to teach. And I never really, I'm like, okay, I get that. And he said, Brent, if you'll learn with the intent to teach others, it will create so much of an abundance in your life. And I'm not so sure that I knew what he meant, but I'm starting to figure it out. And I'll tell you what I think he meant the more time I spent around him is in business, in your profession, whatever it is you're doing, we do, right? We have to do the do to gain the mastery. Would you agree with that? If you're in network marketing, you can't teach unless you've actually prospected, right? So you do the do, like you got to go through the no's, you got to go through the yeses, you got to go through the Daryl Peterson, right? The aggravation of somebody, you think somebody's in, they're not in. You get somebody in, they do nothing, like all of that stuff you do to create mastery. And then when you create it, you don't hide it. You don't keep it to yourself. You show. And that's the intent to teach. So you do the do, you create the mastery. And then once you've got it and you feel it and it's working, you teach it to others. It's kind of like the gift you got, you share. And when you share it with others in that teaching and you do it, and you don't worry about what money it's making you, you just do it. You do it out of the goodness of your heart. You do it to add value. You do it to give back to the world. And here's what ends up happening. Over time, you have an army of people doing, and that creates massive leverage. Does that make sense? So you do the do to create the mastery, and then you take that mastery with the intent to teach, to show others, give value, love on them. Oh, they're in my cross line. They don't affect my check. Do it anyway. Oh, they're not even in my business. They're in another company. Do it anyway. And over time, there's an army of people out there taking your doing, your mastery, your teaching, and they're starting to do and teach. And it creates this amazing leverage. You go, how does it create leverage if they're not in your business? Because that person you could call up and say, I just happen to be in Montana and I've got a flat tire. And they're like, I'll be right over. That's the power of doing this thing. And so learn with the intent to teach. That's knowledge. That's true knowledge in business. And then the other one I wanted to go to is, and I'm out of time, general knowledge. Like general knowledge is like improving. It's like learning in all areas of your life. Here's what that does, in my opinion. It boosts your confidence. It improves your social skills. It serves your career and personal development, improves relationships, improves well-being, like just general knowledge. Like, have you ever walked past like a sign on the street that's talking about this, back in 1842, and you just walk past it? You just let some general knowledge in your life die. Because if you'd have just stopped and read it and maybe even Googled it, imagine what that knowledge then over time turns into. And so I've got a new rule for myself on general knowledge. My new rule on general knowledge, and it's been like this for a little bit now, is if I don't know it, find out, like go research right then. If somebody says, have you ever heard of boom? And I go, no. Well, rather than just letting it die, I'm going to go look up that place, right? Look up that thing. And I'm going to get a little knowledge in me that I didn't have. And I'll tell you another area of general knowledge in this, just learn it, because don't just assume. If somebody says, hey, you can take this little pill and you'll lose 10 pounds a day. How many times in my life have I just said, oh, great, pop it in my mouth? Just assume that they know what they're talking about, rather than me go do my own due diligence. So now the older I get, I realize that ignorance really is just assuming things. Ignorance is getting on the news and just assuming that what they're saying is accurate. What true intelligence is, and general knowledge is actually going and looking for myself so that I will know the true definition, so that I will know the true history lesson. And I believe that what that does is boost your confidence in what your general knowledge capacity is. So those were my two thoughts on knowledge. I know I went a little deeper, Andrea. I'm sorry. Turn it to you.
That was a great lesson, Coach. And I want to kick this off by just telling everybody to have a blessed Memorial Day. So I know that a lot of people are excited about the long weekend and where we're going and what we're doing. But man, if you take a moment to think about what we are honoring on Memorial Day, it definitely takes your mind in a different direction. So maybe that's something that we can gain a little bit of knowledge on. I think one of the things that I used to do with the kids is we would look up every holiday and we would talk about it and, why are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? And definitely need to get back in the habit of that. So good reminder there, Coach. Appreciate that. So the quote that I found was, be a lifelong student. The more you learn, the more you earn and the more self-confidence you will have. And that's Brian Tracy. And I think about, nobody wants to be the person that says, I don't know that, right? Like none of us want to be the person that's got to raise their hand and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. So how do we have less of those moments? Well, improve our general knowledge. And how do we do that, right? How do we get a little bit more knowledgeable in this world? First of all, read. Read fiction, read great literature, read self-help books, read your Bible, read everything you can. And I feel like, and this might just be my prejudice because I like to read, but I feel like reading is this lost art where people say, oh, I don't really read. I do this instead. I do that instead. And I even see it in myself where I can get so distracted by the rest of the world that reading gets a little bit harder, but take the time to read and watch how you learn from all of it. And then with that, watch fiction, great documentaries, explanatory videos, professional channels, TED Talks. There is so much in this world now that we can plug into if we take the time to plug in. So go find things that are a little bit higher level than maybe my 17,000th Friends episode that I tend to watch if I jump on a television. Go find something that's going to help you learn. And next way is to use micro learning. And I went, what in the world is micro learning? But that's when you find just one thing that you want to learn that day, something small. So, and it might be something big, but maybe I have, how about this? I dropped a ring down a sink one time and I had no idea what to do. Like, where did it go? Where did it end up? Like, oh geez, what's going to happen? And so I literally Googled help, dropped a ring down my drain. What do I do? And I figured out that you can open up some things and there's a P-trap, and there it was. I got it back. It was very exciting. So use that, focus on one little thing. Maybe it's how to change your tire or how to put a new seat on the commode, or I don't know, how to cook broccoli so it's crispy. I have no idea, but go watch those little videos. Go look it up in an encyclopedia if you can find one. Go clarify a specific question and get that general knowledge there. Try to learn one thing every single day, be it how many tablespoons there are in an ounce, or the life expectancy of a hamster, or whatever it might be. But just try to find one little thing that you can learn every single day that piques your interest, because that's going to help you be more well-rounded. I know you guys are going to go look up hamsters right now. I think of the most random things sometimes, but that's really what I thought of. And then socialize. One of the best ways that we can all gain general knowledge is from other people. Each of you knows so many things I don't know. So take the time to meet new people and actually listen to them. So that's what I had this morning. Thank you so much for that, Coach.
No, it was a great one. And I actually, we have so many people across different parts of the world that come on, but we celebrate this weekend in the US Memorial Day. And I don't know how long I'll live that, taking general knowledge and going, Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. And in 1971, it was actually named a federal holiday. And so you go, well, what do people do in the US on Memorial Day? If they truly know the definition, like why it was created. And so it was called decoration because people go to cemeteries. They have family gatherings and they observe the people that have fought and died for our freedom. And so I was thinking about that this morning. It's interesting, Andrea, that you said it first, but I was going to say something about Memorial Day. One of the things that I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to stop by a cemetery and just pay tribute. There's always an opportunity to pay tribute and put an American flag out, like stick it in the ground beside it, like do our little part, because they definitely did theirs. So just wanted to say that. And anyway, maybe that'll spur you in your area to step out and go pay tribute to someone locally in your area. So guys, we love you. We appreciate you. This is a great, great community. It just gets my day started every day on the right track. So love you guys. Have a great one. We'll see you back
God
on Monday.
bless.
Actually,
Happy Memorial Day,
Thank you,
everybody.
Andrea.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a beautiful
Happy
weekend.
Memorial Day.